Borda, if you're wondering why I'm jumping out of a plane in a video about rugby, it's because I'm here in Dubai trying to answer one question. Is the Dubai Sevens the best sports festival in the world? This week, I want to maximise my experience and do all the cool things I couldn't do as a player while showing you behind the scenes with my Access All Areas pass to the tournament as World Rugby's ambassador. It was an insane week, so let's go.
And the doctor is in the house.
If you're new here, I'm Luke Trahan. I used to play rugby professionally, but now I create rugby content for anyone and everyone who wants to get involved in the game and improve their physical and mental well-being. This week is a special full circle moment for me, as I first came to play here in the International Invitational Tournament way back in 2012. I then played here 6 more times with Wales and GB on the World Series. So now, coming back as a World Rugby Ambassador feels very special, and as we go through the video, I'll chat through some of my favourite memories. Another thing I'm absolutely buzzing about this week is getting to stay with one of my best mates from uni, Justin, and his girlfriend Katie, alongside their animals Daisy, Belle and Dino the tortoise. They're going to be acting as my tour guide for the week, and we got off to a bang. I arrived super late on the Saturday, but we were up at 5 AM to head out for a sunrise cycle. The plan was to join the beach cycle track around Jumeirah 1 and head all the way down to the iconic Burj Al Arab. On the way, Justin took us to this little island and just look at the view of this skyline with the sun rising behind it. The cycle track then takes you all the way down the beach. The whole cycle we did was about 40 kilometers. It was an incredible start to the week, taking in the views, getting to catch up with an old friend I hadn't seen for a year or two, and also scope out a few spots for some videoing during the week. Justin took us to a few of his favourite coffee spots on the way, and we headed back via this super cool bike loop in town, but I'll show you more of this when we go later on in the week.
Like, I want to watch it.
Later on that day, we packed up the car and headed for the desert. I've done this a few times before, and it's honestly one of the coolest things you can do in Dubai, especially if you take a barbecue and a few drinks. So you just find a random spot near a tree in the desert, set up the camping chairs and a barbecue, and just enjoy the evening, and hopefully it's going to be a pretty banging sunset today. The sunset is pretty spectacular, and once it's completely dark you can actually see the lights from the Seven Stadium, as that's also right out in the desert, but I'll show you that a little later. We spent a few hours sitting by the fire, and it was an awesome end to the first day in Dubai.
Wildlife and
On Monday, I was up at the crack of dawn again for the skydive. I would highly recommend it to anyone. It's a full sensory system shock. As a side note, don't have a coffee before doing a skydive. You'll notice I have my first samples of the activewear for Borda clothing. I'm testing them out over the next few months, so let me know what you think of them. I also thought this was a good time to let you know the criteria I'm using to decide whether the Dubai Sevens is the best sports festival in the world. The categories are Core sports offering, the entertainment and festival vibe, venue and facilities, and the final one is the audience and inclusivity. I'll be scoring these out of 5 at the end of the video to get a final score, and in my head I'm comparing these to yearly sports events like Wimbledon and the Tour de France. From the skydive, I headed to the marina to do some work and catch up with an old friend. It took me a good 5 to 6 hours to recover from the skydive.
And then there was bits where I was like, I could feel my head was just going,
So I then spent the rest of the afternoon editing a YouTube video before heading for a nighttime cycle at that city loop I told you about. It's called the Nad Al Shiba Cycle Park, and I believe it's a 10-kilometer loop, and it's cool in the day, but it's breathtaking at night. We did a few loops before cycling back. I love cycling through cities at night. I think it's a great way to explore and see some of the cool bits that you maybe wouldn't see otherwise. So alongside the fun stuff, I am here to work, and this week I need to deliver 5 reels for World Rugby, as well as doing some ambassador stuff on the weekend. I'm making this long form video off my own back. I've come out early because they're the kind of videos I want to make more of. I'm not getting any help from any other sponsors like the tournament, Emirates or anyone else. But if you like these kind of videos, please drop them a comment and a like. It helps me show the sponsors that they should invest in these type of videos. And who knows, I may end up coming to somewhere where you play rugby to make a video. Right, I've picked up these from World Rugby. Let's head to the first location for the first video. So the first video is all about showing off the 2 different balls that they're going to be using on this year's World 7 series. For the first time ever, the men are sticking with the size 5, but the women have a specially made 4.5 size ball. So I'm interested to see how this goes in the game, see whether it affects the play at all. And the idea for this video is to show off these balls at some iconic locations around Dubai. So we've come to the first one, which is the Burj Al Arab. The idea around the first trick shot was to kick it through the whole of the hotel. This is how it turned out. And I was pretty happy until this happened. So I managed to drop my really expensive camera into the sand. It is absolutely everywhere now, in between all the little bits in the microphone. Yes! So I spent the rest of the day heading to different locations and filming. I had to adapt a fair bit on the fly. So I found the Burj Khalifa in the end. The main problem is it's actually too tall and I'm too close to it for what I want to do. So I'm going to have to find a different spot a little bit further away. So I absolutely love how cities have to just get sports facilities in and where they can. And look at this for a setup. So I found this park and I think this is going to be perfect. Good view of the Burj in the background. Even though there wasn't many shots for this video, it's been quite a tough day of filming, purely just sitting in traffic or just trying to find the best spot to get a good view for the video. But I'm going to go head home now, get into the edit. I think it's going to turn out pretty well. I got back just in time to watch the colours as the sun set from the roof. On Wednesday, I was at Brighton early and got straight into some running as I'm prepping to head back down to Fiji this January to play in the Gold Coast Sevens again. So I've come over to the Crown Plaza, I met up with the World Rugby team. We've had a bit of a brief on the week to come, everywhere I need to be and what I need to do. And the first thing is this media event that's going to launch the new 7 series, the new format. There's been quite a lot said about it. So one of the reels they want me to make is a kind of an honest review, an honest opinion of what's been said, what's been planned, and then maybe to try to chat to a few key individuals just to get a bit of an insight. Come along, let's see what this is all about. So we've just headed out to the helipad next to the hotel. They're going to do the captain's photo, which they do before every tournament. It's always a real nice event, particularly the first one, because you get to see the players they haven't seen in the off season. They're doing something quite special for this one in that they've brought a painter out who's going to be painting the captain's photo, and they're going to do this at each tournament apparently. So I'm interested to see how that turns out.
1, 2, 3, go!
Oh, you got him. Yeah.
Okay, I think the most tournament I like is Hong Kong.
My one will be Vancouver. Atmospheres, hustings.
Mine would be Hong Kong.
I can't wait for Dubai Sevens. It's my first tournament back from injury, so I'm excited to get out there and play.
As always, playing at home at Perth.
I think for me it's an easy one. It's Cape Town.
Hong Kong.
We hope to win Bordeaux, I hope.
I then headed into the hotel to check out the gym. So this is the gym supplied by the tournament, so all the teams can use this. They just need to book in times. Pretty basic, but it seems to have everything you'd need. Before going upstairs to the Players Welcome Barbecue, where I got to catch up with some old friends. I headed back to Justin's. He was cooking physically and metaphorically, as this was probably the best meal in Dubai. I took a day to myself on Thursday. I was already heading back after the tournament for my grandfather's funeral when I got the news that my gran had passed away suddenly as well. They helped give me the happiest childhood and supported everything I do. So I thought it was best to finish off the work for the week before heading home to be with my family. I started Friday with a quick session at Dubai College. School facilities are just becoming a joke at this stage. After a quick pit stop, we headed up to the 7 Stadium, which is a decent drive into the desert. The 7 Stadium is so impressive because it's erected out of scaffolding every year. It's my first time back for 3 years, and I could tell straight away it's just got bigger and better as a tournament. I've got a bit of time before the first activation with HSBC, so I'm just gonna have a little wander around. There's so much more going on. There's no international rugby on the Friday, but there is a whole load of invitational sevens tournaments going on, which I think is where the Dubai Sevens really shines. There's boys, girls, men and women of all ages and abilities getting to play and enjoy themselves. It's awesome to see the sheer scale of participation. Today, I helped run an ambassadors coaching clinic, which was great fun, and then did an interview with Tom Mitchell and Emily Scarrett for the Dubai Sevens. It was awesome fun, as we've all known each other since our GB student Sevens days. I also loved today because I got to see a side of the tournament that I never had a chance to see when I was playing. Wandering around, people were just having the best time, and how about this sunset behind pitch 2? On Saturday morning, we headed even further into the desert where they've built a bike track. It's mental, nothing but sand for miles. So it's the Saturday and it's all of the international teams kicking off. Today I've had to do a bit of a tour for World Rugby, and then I am going to be filming some content for the rest of the afternoon. One of the big things is going to be a behind the scenes tour, seeing what it's like for the players when they arrive to get out onto the pitch and everything they do after. So under the stadium, every team gets a changing room, and GB have been very kind to let us into theirs. Oh, it's all the way up there, let's go. So you used to have to share changing rooms with teams, but now everybody gets a huge changing room to themselves. This side then you get your showers and your toilets, and you can just set up your base here all day. So after the changing room, the teams come to either end of the pitch to warm up. It's not much space, but you're in front of the crowd. You start to feel that energy. Let's go to the tunnel. Now, probably the most exciting part, after the warm-up, back to the change rooms and you come into the tunnel. This is the first time the players get to look at each other. They line up either side, and then this is the view that they're met with before they run out onto the pitch. Excitement is at its max, but you're ready to get into this game. So after the game, the players will make their way out this tunnel and head to the recovery centre. How's it going? Thank you.
Okay.
Ready. So at the end of the tunnel, they've got this tent set up. This is probably different to previous years. And in here, they have got ice baths and everything the players need for recovery. The main thing is just to get their temperature down. It's super hot out there. This is probably the first stage of their recovery after a game. So every time the players go from the stadium to where they have food and chill out, they're just with everyone else in the stadium. It's a great way to take in the atmosphere, the madness of everything that's going on. So through everyone, the players are aiming to get to the clubhouse. This is where their food, where their chill out area is. So in the big clubhouse, the players have their own area. They can come and sit down, get the food. This is the second part of their recovery. All of the games are also on the TV screens, ready for them to go. So at the top of the clubhouse where they had food, they have this chill out area. A lot of teams come up here between the games, but the best thing I always used to love about this is the view over the whole of the festival. It's absolutely incredible, particularly when the sun's going down. A lot of the players just come and have a look out here. One of the most important rooms when it comes to the broadcast. This is where the commentators are working from. Come and have a look at this. So this is definitely one of the best views from the whole of the stadium.
Find the space. There's going to be space somewhere. There's only 6 Japanese defenders. GB need to be able to find it.
So the base of this stand is this lorry, and this is so important so that everybody can watch the rugby at home. This is the broadcast centre, loads of screens, loads of buttons, people working extremely hard there to make sure you get the best view of all the action.
There he is, guys. Give him a big wave. There's our Emirates A380. Flying over the top there. Absolutely amazing.
3, 2, 1. One of my favourite but earliest memories from the Dubai Sevens. I played in the International Invitational when I was a young pup. You play on the outside pitches. If you get to the final, you come to play in front of a fairly decent crowd on the main pitch. The team we were playing against had a lot of young South African development players, and little did I know, as I came off the bench, I went into a sweeping roll right in the middle of the pitch. They made a line break. This player was coming towards me. I was like, no problem, shut the space, make a leg chop, and then we'll play another phase. Next thing I knew, I was just face down on the floor, turned around, and he was running under the post to score. Didn't know at the time, but that was Cheslin Colby before he'd gone on to make his Sevens debut for the Blitzboks, and as we know now, he's gone on to play with the Springboks and win a World Cup. But this is one of the things I love about these tournaments. You get to see firsthand these players in the first tournaments they play before they go on to amazing careers. So it's one of my favourite memories from the Dubai Sevens. So I've come over to Beats on 2. I'm very excited because they're going to be chatting to Tiny Temper up here. He was an absolute goat when I was younger, just starting out in Sevens tournaments. Pass Out was a full anthem of those.
Check it out.
On Sunday, I headed onto the pitch to try something new. I wanted to capture some slow-mo of the rugby games. I love how these end of pitch angles showcase sport, and it's something I definitely want to do more of, but I think I need a bigger lens.
Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you? Why didn't you call? Why didn't you? Why didn't you?
Sunday builds really nicely into the finals, and this year it was New Zealand versus Australia in both the men's and women's finals. They were both super intense, but it was a blackout, with New Zealand taking both gold medals. Here's how the rest of the tournament finished, and we got to see two hackers. So, as I sat and watched Fisher before heading to the airport, I would have to say that the Dubai Sevens is a strong contender for best sports festival in the world. Its core sports offering is a solid 5 out of 5. It ticks all 4 criteria and some. The entertainment and festival vibe is world class and a definite 5 from 5. The venue and facilities are amazing, although I think the food offering has some room for improvement. And finally, I'd say there was such a diverse range of people at the festival, all having the best time ever, so another solid 5 out of 5. This gives it a score of 19 out of 20 in my books. Let me know what you think in the comments, and remember to give this video a like. Until next time, Dubai.